Welcome back to Horse Racing Today. Your host, Rich, HRT Rich on Twitter. Of course, today is terrific trifecta. Terry, hey, Thursday. Terry, how you feeling today?
Good. I'm feeling pretty good today. Yeah, everything's fine.
I think we're wearing green in preparation for St. Patrick's Day, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What's your go-to drink on St. Patrick's Day, Terry?
JD.
JD, Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Mine's a Shamrock Shake from McDonald's. How about that? Yeah, but not really. I don't do the Shamrock Shake thing. All right. Well, today we're going to go, as always, to Gulfstream Park on Thursdays. If you haven't been paying attention, though, to Tom's picks over at the Cheltenham Festival, he's gotten a bunch of winners in there. So you can find that over at horseracingtoday.net. I think yesterday he had single picks for race one, race two, race three, and race four. 3 of those single picks went on to win. Pretty incredible stuff from our 22-1 Thomas. I'm not quite sure how he did on this Thursday, but I know that tomorrow that festival wraps up. You can get all that over at horseracingtoday.net. And while you're over there, kindly, for all of Tom's efforts and Terry's efforts and my efforts and Sean's efforts and everybody's efforts, you see a link over here for HRT gear. You can be dressed in the green number 5 for St. Patrick's Day, too. You can help the show out. We'd greatly appreciate that for certain. Finally, last bit of house cleaning before we get started. A little later on today, Turf Paradise, the free track of the day. There is a link down in the description below. And for guaranteed tip sheet, make sure you head on over there and collect those free picks. Well, who doesn't like free, Terry?
I don't know. I love free. So
yeah, well, free. Race 1 is 300 yards. So, maybe we can have a horse racing today, 300-yard race one day, just as long as there's an EM at the end with those paddle boards for all of us. All right, Terry. Well, hopefully we can do a little better today than we did yesterday. A lot of not too strong of a day. Like Animal House, thank you, sir. May I have another paddle to the backside? Let's try to clean that up a little bit today, Terry, starting in race number 1 at Gulfstream Park.
Yep, we're going to go a distance on that first race, mile and 16th. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
Indeed, at a mile and the main track there again. Key to watch if it's a 1-turn or a 2-turn race. You could see it's a 1-turn. They act a little bit more like sprints than they do routes. 1,000 simulations. We're looking for horses that have simulation odds that are lower than post-time odds. So that way we can get a little bit of value, so to speak. We also want to find out which horses have a chance to run par plus or better. So far, none of these have been able to prove that in our 10,000 simulations. So far, none of them have been showing an opportunity to beat that average speed score of 75. I also want to see who's going to be on the lead, Terry. 10,000 simulation quarter-mile race. And we can see one looks like it has a pretty good shot. And then based upon that, which horse is likely to get a trip that best mirrors its best performances? Terry, sure looks like one of them is going to set the tone early when the gates open in a few minutes.
Yep, gets a clean break. That 2 will get there first. The 8, 7, and 1 show a little bit of speed. 7 has an overlay from 4 to 5 to 5 to 2. And the 8 has an overlay from about 8, 5 to 6 to 1. None of them show any par numbers as of right now. And number 2 has the only C-zone number, and it's a pretty darn good one.
Yeah, we see this 1-2 punch of high C-zone, very strong possibility to get to the lead. Those horses get to the front. They have a lot of confidence. We do a little bit of trip handicapping too, and so far in the first race in this maiden claiming, everybody's in the NC column, Terry. So far, none of them in their races have been within 5 lengths of the leader. So this one, literally, just put your name in a hat, pull the horse out, and you might do your best on that. But if you're looking for speed, and usually horses do win their first race close to the front. You do see Bulkin is the one that's likely to get the lead, although Fort Charles, the favorite, will be right on its tail, quite literally. And then the late speed, Exclusive Dancer. That one has the most late speed, but it looks like it could be as much as 3 lengths off at the opening quarter mile. It's going to have a lot of work to do to close that gap. So your top total pace horse here, Terry, by a 7-point margin is Fort Charles. So that one stalks, runs by him at the end, and goes home an easy winner in race number 1. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I do. I like Fort Charles. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey, and has a trainer whose horses win 37% of the time in the first race that he has it compete in a maiden claiming race. Then I like number 7, Exclusive Dancer, drops in class today, should improve while returning to dirt, has a high percentage winning trainer. The 8 horse is my third pick, drops in class today, can improve at the longer distance and has a high percentage winning trainer. The 2 is my long shot, Vulcan. He can improve while trying dirt and has a high percentage winning trainer. We're going to do our normal bets, $2 to win, $1 exacta box with our first 2 picks, a 50-cent trifecta box with our first 3 picks, and a 10-cent super vector box with our 4 first picks.
Well, this say bet. Did I say bet? Somebody we know well around here. He says he loves Fort Charles. And I think we all know why he loves Fort Charles. And just for that, I'm going to move it into 4th position instead of the 1st. But I do think Fort Charles is probably the one to beat. The bettors on the ground think Fort Charles is the one to beat too. It's 3-5 right now. I don't know him maiden claiming 25, maiden claiming 12,000. You should ever bet a 3-5, which is what that horse is right now. These races tend to be pretty much wide open. That being said, I put him up there before the show started. The only horse in the field to hit a par or above number so far in its career, and did run the top last race speed figure, 7 points ahead of the next closest horse. I'm going to do it, Terry. Screw it. I'm not going to. I just can't bet a 3-5 and a maiden 12. So I'm going to put the 8 horse first instead. Uzziah. This one, if it can improve in its second career start, should be enough to challenge that 6 for the win. And again, typical second career start is anywhere between 5 to 13 speed figure points above the last race. And if it's off for every month it's off, you can maybe add another point or up to another point for that. Number 2, the Vulcan, that one's going to get to the lead. And I think it could get to the lead. And if the pace is right, could stay on the lead. And so far in both of that horse's races, the bettors have backed them handsomely. So maybe we'll see why today. And then finally, I'm going to go with the 7 horse Exclusive Dancer, class dropper. The only time that this horse ran 1 mile on the Gulfstream Park dirt course, it was by far its best race. So maybe a repeat of that effort today. Again, for me, I went ahead and made the cardinal sin of changing the 8 horse to be my top pick over to 6, but just can't see a reason to bet a 3-5 and a maiden claiming 12. And certainly can't back a horse named Fort Charles. That would be sinful almost. How long do we have to the first race here, Terry?
0 minutes.
What does it look like on the screen, though? Because 0 minutes.
Yeah, they're just kind of walking. Yeah, they're kind of walking around right now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But mine's behind you, so what I see is behind you.
Yeah, 5 minutes in Florida time is enough to deliver a package overnight. Let's see what's going on. I had to sign into my account so I could see the race. They're still walking around, so we probably have time if we really hustle to get race 2 in the books.
Okay, so it's a 5 furlong race, and it's a purse of $26,000. It's a maiden claiming $25,000 for maidens, 4-year-olds and upward.
So at a 5 furlong affair on the all-weather track, you're going to find speed crushes 41% of the time. You run straight from the lead at the quarter-mile marker right into the winner's circle. Say cheese for a photo. A little bit of a rail bonus for Super Sunshine. 2 through 7, that whole grouping right there, they tend to play a little bit under par. The best place to be is 8 and out. So if you got some speed on the rail, Terry, or you have some speed on the outside in race number 2, you got a shot.
Yeah, well, the 3 has the most speed, but several of them show speed. And then the 1 also has some pretty good speed. The 1 has a small overlay from 7.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 4.5 to 1. The 5 has an overlay between almost 6 to 1 to 12 to 1. And the 8's overlay is from just a little bit like 5 to 2 to 3 to 1. And then the 3 has the only par number in here. All but the 1 and 3 have C zones, and they're pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this one should get the lead. Lone par plus, that means about a 10% chance. Grand Roque is going to run a speed figure above 80. Our trip handicapping tells us that you got 4 that want to be on the front, 4 that want to be on the back. One Sesame Street horse in here that's unlike the others. Super Sunshine, when the gates open and the all-weather is indeed flying. Grand Roque is the quickest by about 3/4 of a length over the rail horse. Some pretty good competition through there, so they should line up pretty nicely. On the way home, Don't Answer, the 2-horse, is the strongest of all the closers. Likely to be maybe up to 2 lengths, maybe a little bit more off the pace early on. Doesn't have that much late speed to cover that, so might have to giddy up and go a little bit more than it's comfortable with at the start. Got 4 horses here, the 2, 3, 8, and 4. That grayed out as your top 4 total pace horses. Roughly 3 out of 4 winners coming from that group, Terry. Which one is going to win in your book?
I like Grand Rogue, the 3, won his last race at Gulfstream Park, switches to a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 37% of the races when dropping a horse off of a win, and they added blinkers today. The 8 is my second choice, finished 3rd in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 2, Don't Answer, is my 3rd pick. He drops in class today, has a jockey who in the last 7 days been in the money 6 out of 11 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a 3rd. Grand Bay, the 9 is my long shot, has a high speed figure at today's distance and has a high percentage winning jockey. And that combination between the jockey and the trainer has won 2 out of 2 starts.
So real quick, the 3-horse top last race speed figure, 7 points clear. The next closest horse, I think, should get the trip it's looking for. Number 9, Grand Bay, best published work between races, has some success off the bench like today. Tohota, the 8, I'm expecting a stalking trip and then a strong late move. And then finally, Don't Answer has that pretty strong late speed edge over the rest of the field. But it's going to navigate traffic in a deep field in a short race, which could make it a difficult trip. A lot of ways to run into trouble there. All right, race number 1, Peter Aiello about to let us know how this maiden claiming affair for $12,500 kicks off. So, yeah, it looks like the vet was looking at the 2-horse there, and the vet has given it the thumbs up. So fast, firm, and fast on the 3 different surfaces there, and they're off and running in the opener. And the 8-horse did indeed get a pretty decent break. I hate that front angle. It looks to me like it's on the lead, but you got a couple of horses on the inside that are taking a move up forward. So the 2-horse that got the thumbs up from the vet is in a pretty good spot. You got the 5-horse in between it and that heavy favorite at 1 to 5. I mean, that's just a tough bet for me. Down on the rail, you have the 1-horse, max forward speed. So you got about a gap of maybe 4 horses from the nose of the 2 to the tail of the 8. And way, way, way back is Exclusive Dancer. They went through the opening quarter in a pretty slow 24.5 for a mile. They come around the corner. You have the 5-horse now that has taken over the lead, Blazing Tyreek. And indeed, Tyreek is blazing if you're all familiar with the Miami Dolphin wide receiver. The favorite now is starting to boldly make its move up on the upside at that 1 to 5 price. It's going to compete with the 5, it looks like, for the win. The 8-horse that I switched into first, it's the kiss of death for that guy because he's not made a move yet. The 1 on the rail, maybe with a chance, max forward speed at a big price. Around the corner they come. The 5 and the 6 are duking it out. 6 horses running kind of easily. Probably going to win this race at 6 to 5, at 1 to 5. He is going to win easily, folks. It's going to go 6, then 5, then maybe the 2-horse, which didn't show that early speed, but it did indeed get himself involved in the end. The 7-horse coming at the end there. So 6, 5, 7, 4. 6, 5, 7, 4, it looks like. And there you have it. 1 to 5 in the opener. And I absolutely guaranteed that he was going to win and that the 8 was going to do horribly by switching him around. I think the last 20 times I've done that, the horse I switched out ended up winning.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just can't. I mean, I don't see any. I just can't back a 1 to 5 and maiden claiming 12.
No, I would, if I was betting on this race, my money, I wouldn't be betting on that 1 to 5. All right. What I would have done, I would have done a $1 exacta, and I would have went 6 in a key box with all.
Yeah, and you probably would have lost money because the 6 at 1 to 5, everybody's going to have people around it. In the maiden claiming, I just can't do that. I would probably just have skipped that race altogether at the track, especially since I thought the 6 was the best horse. Anyway, off to race number 3 we go. Mr. Terry, a bunch of today on the grass, and fortunately the weather cooperated, so we're not going to see them get switched off to PETA unless there's some rain in the forecast.
Yeah, race 3, right? That's not on the grass. No, is that on the grass? I don't think
Yeah,
so.
it's 5 furlongs on the turf.
Okay. It says 6 furlongs here. Am I
On
in the
race
right?
3?
I'm in the wrong track. No wonder. All right. And I've been giving you the wrong news, wrong stuff. It is a 5 furlong turf race, and it's a purse of $89,000. It's for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
And 5 furlongs on the grass. What you're going to find is early speed does good 46% of the time. A big number. They go wire to wire. Devilment, a pretty good bonus on the rail. 2 and 3, a major penalty. 4 through 7, a small bonus. And 8 and out, a small discount. So it looks like if you got some speed on the rail, Paco Lopez on that one horse, Terry, could go wire to wire. What do you see?
Yeah, he does have some speed, but the 5 also has quite a bit of speed. So it could be head to head all the way to that quarter pole. And that one has a very small overlay of 1.2 to 1.6. And then the 4 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 1. The 4 is the only one that has a par number. And then all but the 3 have Z zones.
In our trip handicapping scenario, 3 is your lone closer. Everybody else wants to be middle or forward. It is a short race, so I'd expect speed to have a pretty significant impact on that one. Chaplin looks like it's the quickest of the bunch, Terry. He's going to get out of the gate, put that 1 to the test. So if the 1 wants to hold the 5 off from clearing, he's going to have to giddy up and go, but should have the ability to do that with a +7 total pace advantage on that everybody else at the late speed. And just looking at the overall total pace picture, that one is 7 points clear of Birthday Munnings. That means, and that one is 4 points clear of Readier. According to this, Devilment should win race number 3 in convincing fashion, just like the 6 horse did in race number 1.
Yeah, I like that one, Devilment. He finished 3rd versus Sumner in his last race at Gulfstream Park, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Readier, number 4, won his last race at Tampa Bay Downs, but was placed 2nd through disqualification. Has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Secret Threat, number 3, is the 3rd pick. He should improve while returning to a sprint. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with another horse in here, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And this combination in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 3 starts. The 6th Birthday Munnings is my long shot. He ran 3rd in his last race, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with the horse above that I referred to. So that's it.
I'm going to go with the 4 horse. If it can repeat its last race, it would win here. It gets Irad Ortiz in a short field today. I think he'll get a great trip, be right off the leaders, and then try to pounce late. Devilment, that 1 horse, likely to be another one of those favorites. That's probably, I'm going to guess. What do you think, Terry? 4 to 5, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got a good shot. And he just missed at this level last time out. And I've been noticing in my notes over and over and over again, horses that ran at this level in the prior start and were really close to winning at the end, followed it up with the W. And he was really close despite having some in-race problems. Number 5, Chaplin. This one is going to be on the Jets, as we see right here. When the gates open, has a really nice bullet workout on March the 1st, so he should be in good shape for today. Number 6, Birthday Munnings. We both agree, Terry, that's the 4th pick. This one has by far the most upside. And if he can find a touch of that in the second start after a layoff, could actually find the winner's circle as a decently priced horse. I put all my bets and money into race number 3. I forgot to mention it. I'm going to single up to 3 with the 2, 5, 6, 8, and then all on a 50-cent pick 3, which I think costs $22. Hope to catch a nice price in those last 2 races. All right, let's go off to race number 4. If you're new here, kindly do us a favor. If you're watching on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, it's kind of like the Prince of social media, is formerly known as Twitter. If you could go ahead and retweet our show, we would greatly appreciate that. If you're watching on YouTube, kindly hit the subscribe button and the bell so when we go live for all of our shows like tomorrow, win 22-1 Tom, as I mentioned, who's tearing up the Cheltenham, and I return, and tomorrow we're going to do Rose Hill. I think there's 6 or maybe 7 races. We're doing more than usual tomorrow, all of which I think are group races. So a little insomnia racing down in Australia from Friday night to Saturday morning. Tune in for that. I guess you might as well just delete TikTok after yesterday, right, Terry?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yep.
Yeah, but we're there too until until it's not available anymore. Also on Facebook, which is kind of the mothership for us. If you haven't done so yet, go over there and join us on Facebook. Our Swiss Army Sean puts up a ton of great work. So in race number 4, Terry, we went through our picks, right or no?
No, we haven't done this race at all.
All right.
So
there we go. So a little bit of confusion from me. Let's go ahead and get it done.
That's all right. I was confused in the first 2 races. So anyway, 7 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race of $16,000 claiming price. Purse is $31,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $10,000 or less since March 14th, 2022, or a claiming price of $16,000.
Yes, and once again, at 7 furlongs, we're looking for that 5-letter word, speed, Terry, because at 7 furlongs, the horses that do win tend to be forwardly placed. 27% of the time, they go gate to wire, post positions 1, 2, 3. They get a penalty. 4 through 7, they get a bonus. 8 and out is really the best place to be in race number 4, Terry. So we do have a Buffalo Girl on the outside. It has a little bit of speed, but it looks like a majority of the fast ones are to the inside.
Yeah, they're all got some kind of speed except for that 7 horse. But the 4 and the 1 have the most speed, and they'll probably go head and head trying to get to that quarter pole. And then the 8 shows an overlay from even money to 4-1. And then 8 and 5 are the only 2 horses with par numbers. All but the 3 show decent C zones.
Tell me you know nothing without telling me you know nothing. Paul James says the horse racing are animal abusers. So I would encourage you, James, to head on off to a track one day. And I'd be willing to wager that the horse in these tracks, in most cases, are probably treated better. They have chiropractors on staff. They get 24/7 medical assistance. They're fed pretty regularly. They get regular exercise. I've been to the tracks, and I can tell you that I've seen that these horses, in many cases, are treated probably better than maybe 70% of the world's population is treated as human beings. So, yeah, maybe some of them abuse their animals, but some parents abuse their children too, right? So are we trying to extinct parents? I think not. I would encourage you to go to a track and see for yourself, and then come back and let us know if indeed we are animal abusers. Because I think you speak from an ignorant place. Sorry. All right, Terry, I hate to get on my pedal stool there, but I just can't stand people who make comments and they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? You've been to the track, Terry. You see how well they treat these horses, right?
I do, yes. They treat them very well. Treat them better than a lot of humans treat other humans. So
indeed. And then on top of that, yeah, of course, in the track when they're running, they break their legs for sure. And that's, nobody likes to see that, and they break down. That being said, I was in Las Vegas where they have some wild horses and watched a wild horse run, I don't know, trip on a rock or something and break its leg. Fortunately, the game wardens were there and they put the horse to peacefully to death, right? Because otherwise it's going to lay on the ground and suffer. In the wild, a horse breaks its leg, it's just going to lay there alive until some predator comes and eats it. Much rather see them euthanized in a respectful manner. In any case, Terry, let's go on with race number 4. Do we make our picks? We just went through the.
No, you need to go through, this part of it.
Yeah. This is the. All right. So what we're doing here is our trip handicapping. Looks like the 6 and the 1, they want to get to the lead. The 6 indeed will be the horse that does get to the lead in all likelihood, about 3/4 of a length of the rest of the field. The rest are pretty bunched up, so they'll be really duking it out to see who's in that second position or the co-pilot. At the end, it's pretty clear that Storm Brave will be coming the fastest at the end, about 1 3/4 lengths faster than everybody else. And then your top total pace horse is that Storm Brave. 6 points clear of Star Sign and Cajun Brother. Those three should make a nice exacta box. Terry, how many of them do you have in your exacta box?
Well, I like the 8 Storm Brave. He's won 2 out of the 3 of last 3 races and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And the 5 is my second choice, Proverb, finishing the money in 5 out of the last 6 races, winning 3 of those starts. And he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 40% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route to a sprint. Number 6, Cajun Brothers, my third pick, won his last race at Gulfstream Park and has a trainer who wins 33% of the races when dropping a horse off of a win. My long shot is the 2 Star Sign. He drops in class today, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters.
I like the 8 horse too, Terry. We have a lot of agreement today so far. Storm Brave, I think this race should be a really good fit for this horse. Sit right off the lead, and then with that strong 8-point late pace edge, just blow by them all. A point and a 6-point total pace edge. Number 6, Cajun Brother. That's on the other end of the spectrum. Terry, as we saw here, it could be the Lone E horse. We see Lone E's get to the lead. A lot of times they don't give it up. This one has a very solid chance to be on the front. Proverb, the 5 horse. This is a robust starter at Gulfstream Park. A monster. 6 races, 4 wins, a second and a third. And really likes the distance too. 4 races out. He won 3 of them. A second last time out by about 6-7 lengths against the competitive field. And then Star Sign, the 2 horse is my final choice. Proper distance for him, 6 races, won 4 of them. Didn't do anything else in the other 2. But what's kind of crazy about that, Terry, is he's run 33 races at another distance. So almost 5.5 times more races and exactly the same number of wins. 4. 7 furlongs, that quirky distance is the right distance for Star Sign. A horse for the distance at the course. How long till race number 2?
No, race number 5.
No, I mean the actual race. Race number 2.
How long? Oh, there's 12 minutes.
Okay. Race number 5, my friend. They're going to go long on the grass.
Yeah, it is. It's mile and 16th on the turf, claiming $25,000 claiming price, $31,000 purse. For 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And that long distance on the grass course at Gulfstream Park down there in Hollandale. Again, if you've never been there, I would encourage you to go. It was a good time when I went down there with Jamie and Willie Hernandez. Great. And Willie's like he's like the godfather down there, man. Every jockey. Hey, Willie. Hey, Willie. Hey, Willie. It was really a lot of fun to see that the vet getting the respect he deserves, the Breeders' Cup winning jockey. But anyway, at a mile and a 16th on the turf, Stalkers, they do pretty well. Being on the front's probably not the most strategic play. Only 11% go wire to wire. There is a little bit of a rail bonus for the Mar. I don't know if that necessarily means it's going to be able to outrun those 30-1 odds. The best place to be, surprisingly, post 2 and 3. 4 through 7, they get a discount, and then 8 and out, just a touch under par. So if you like the 2 horse or the 3 horse, Terry, they probably got a pretty good shot in here. Speed doesn't really get the job done, but if someone's going to go wire to wire, who could it be?
Well, let's see. It looks like to me that 10 and 11 have the most speed, so one of those could break out there and go. But there's quite a few of these that have some speed. The 1, 7, 8, and 10 have the. I'm sorry. The 1 has an overlay of 6-1 to 30-1, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. The 7 has an overlay of 5-1 to 15-1. The 8 has an overlay of 6.5-1 to 12-1. And the 10 has an overlay from about 6-1 to 10-1. So there's a lot of nice overlays in here. Mm-hmm. This is a good betting race for that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Then the 1, 5, 7, 8, and 10 show the par numbers, and all of them show some kind of season.
Yeah, this is just a lot of green, a lot of white, just a checkered board here all across the board. There's a lot of ways that you can look at this race. You got the 1, the 5, the 7, the 8, and the 10, the par plus horses, and you've got the 7, and we've completely avoided all the rest of them. Oh, no, we got the 5 horse in there too. So in any case, I think this race is wide open. That's why I alled it. Again, we have one of those races that's kind of a sandwich race. It's a Wendy's Where's the Beef race. Big buns on the front, big buns on the back, the Sesame Street horse, the Mar in the middle. Let's take a look at who's going to be in the front early on. We got that outside speed going to jump out there. Really, Not a lot of competition on the inside, so those two could clear relatively easy despite the outside post position. Looking at the late speed where this race could be one, Patrolman, the 4-horse, a little bit quicker than the Mar or the Bold Looker or Summer Storm Strick, and should be ahead of all those two. So not only should it have more late speed, but should be winning the race at that point. Patrolman and Gabagool, which is a long shot. Those two are 7 points clear of the next closest horse. Those two would be a pretty high, pricey exactitary if they came in.
Well, I like the 5, Gambling Holiday, as my first choice. Finished third versus Simmer in his last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 12, The Dude's a Breeze, is my second choice. Won his last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Hera, the 9, is my third choice. Won his only race at Gulfstream Park, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. Little Steven, the 7, is my long shot. Finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races, so he's very competitive. Finished in second in his last race. No bets for me.
I'm going to start off with that 11 horse. I think this race is open, so much open that I alled it on the back end of my pick 3. I wouldn't be shocked to see a big price come in here. The 11 horse is one of 2 class droppers in the field, Burlone. Third start after a layoff. That's the most classic of all handicapping angles for sure. Last time out, if you dig through the fractions, though, that horse ran through 6 furlongs in like 109. That's pretty brisk. I don't think he's going to have to run that fast today. So a little bit slower pace, and he might be really tough to beat up on the front or in a stalking position. This Dude's a Breeze, the 12 horse, ran over par for this level last time out in the maiden claiming win. One of just maybe 2 or 3 horses in this field in their careers that actually found a speed figure of 81 or better on their resumes. Gambling Holiday. Again, this is going to be your 7-5 morning line favorite. Probably going to take a lot of money because of that just big gap between it and everybody else in terms of its morning line favoritishness. But in a race that anybody can win again, I don't think I want 7-5. I would want at least 5-2 or 3-1 in this race. And then Patrolman, the 4-horse, that one's going to try the grass for the very first time. It's all-weather record, and breeding says it should be a thumbs up for the surface switch today. Again, a wide open race. I think it's either the 5-horse or everybody else. So I'm going to try to get a little bit of price to beat that big-time favorite. Hasn't been working for me lately, but what are the, I'm going to do the squirrel in the nut theory. Sooner or later, I'll find one.
Yep.
All right. Race number 6. Terry, tell us all about it.
All right. In race 6, going a mile and 16th, all weather, claiming $16,000 claiming price. The purse $26,000. For fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
And on that long Tapeta course, and a couple of interesting things I noticed in this race, which kind of made me wonder why horses didn't switch places. But in any case, stalkers on the all-weather at this mile and a 16 distance are the ones that tend to find and collect the most winner checks. 19% of the time, about 1 out of 5 gets to the gate, out of the gate, the first place horse, and then ends up as first place when they take the photo finish. The rail, good, better, best is a little bit under par. 2 and 3 gets a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7 play fair. 8 and up is also under par, Terry. So some tactical speed probably on the inside 3 would be the most strategic way to win. And one of them on the inside 3 does have the most speed.
Yeah, that 3 does. It shows the most speed, but all of the horses but the 2 show some kind of speed in here. The 1 has an overlay of 7-2 to 6-1, and the 5 has an overlay from about 8-5 to 7-2. All but the 6 have some kind of par plus numbers, and the 2 and 4 are the only have the best C zones.
Yeah, so we got almost. We haven't run into a gringo horse here today, but I mean, looking at this Cardio Princess, fairly valued, strong, 89% chance to run a speed figure. Above 77, that could make that horse pretty difficult to beat. Our trip handicapping says the 3 wants to be in the middle. The 2 has some versatility as a lone PC horse. The 1 and the 4, they want to be up front when they do their best. It looks like Cardio Princess, if Cardio Princess wants, can be the leader. I wouldn't be shocked to let the 1 and 4 go battle it out, kind of speed up the fractions a little bit, and then try to move by late because does have the most late speed in here too. So could be a case where it gets to the front. You just can't run that one down, Terry, because it does have the top total pace of 12 points clear of the next closest horse. This one should get to the front, be close to the front, and then pull away by about 2 lengths at the end. Is that how you see it?
I do. I like Cardio Princess. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer. She has a really good workout on March 9th. Then I like number 1, Good, Better, Best. That's cute. She has finished in the money in 8 out of the last 10 races. Wow, winning 2 of the starts, that she has a high percentage, our highest last speed rating. And then the 2 is my third pick, Dubstep. She ran second versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning jockey. The 4 is my long shot, I Believe in Magic. She finished third versus similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. No bets in here for me other than our normal ones.
I remember that song, I Believe in Magic, but that's a little bit prior to my time, Terry. Who sang that? Do you remember?
No.
I believe in magic in the young girl's eyes, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go on America's Got Talent. And I really want to go on the Gong Show. That was the one I'd rather go on. Just get gonged out. That would be a ton of fun. Yeah. I do think the 3 horse is the one, the Cardio Princess, to beat. But there is a big hole in its game, though. It does have that top total pace score of 12. And this is the big hole for me. It's been on the all-weather track 6 times. And in those 6 races, only has 1 second. Everything else off the board. I don't understand why they didn't run this horse in the previous race at 1 1/16 on the turf. Seems like a much better fit for grass. That really concerns me at those low odds. The 5 horse, Can't Back Off, is the simulation favorite. Going to drop in class for the second start of its after a layoff. And this horse is going to run at the lowest level of its career. I think it can give the 3 horse all it can handle on the all-weather surface. I Believe in Magic in a young girl's heart. Fairly solid on the all-weather track. Better early in its pace numbers last time out. But what was interesting about that, not only did it run better early, but the fractions in the back half of the race were even quicker. So that's a horse that showed some really hidden signs of improvement in that last race. Then finally, Dubstep, the 2 horse, pretty strong C-zone, should find this race to its liking. Absolutely has the best all-weather record of the bunch. A pair of seconds in its last 2 starts. The big tell for me, to put it as the last in my pick, is it regressed a little bit in its last race. So there weren't any indications that there'll be a rebound, but same effort should put the horse in contention once again today. Race number 7, Terry, do we have time? It says 0 minutes.
About 0 minutes. So,
which in Florida means about 5. So
yeah. So you want to try?
Let's go ahead and try to do race 7 in 5 minutes or under.
It's 1 mile 70 yards, all weather, $16,000 claiming price, $26,000 purse for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
And at $170, what you're looking for are horses that do stalk 22% of the time, wire to wire. Inside 3, it's the best place to be. 4 through 7, a small penalty. You don't want to wear an 8 or out. It really hurts your chances right away. In race number 7, there's one out there, the 8 horse, and of course, it hurts your chances. We put them on top. But Terry, tell us all about the early pace.
Yeah, they all show some speed, but the 751 have the most speed. So it's anybody's guess who gets there. The 4 has an overlay from about 7 to 2 to 8 to 1. The 7 has a small overlay from 6 to 5 to maybe 8 to 5. And then 4, 7, and 8 show par numbers. And then the 8 and the 5 are the only 2 that have C zones.
In our trip handicapping, we see in the 7th race of 9, the 5 horse wants to be forward of all this group. Everybody else wants to close. Real no front runner up in here. So Surrogate, the 8 horse, might find itself on the lead, closer. So we call that left arrow action around here. Frank's Art does have the most late speed. That one is about a length and a half quicker than Midway Mischief. It's about 3/4 of a length. And Flatter Me, if 7 horse is anywhere near the leaders coming out of that turn, could be hard to hold off, especially as a 7-point total pace favorite. Terry, woof, we both have the 8 on the outside. I might make my second switch of the day.
Well, I like the 8 Surrogate. He ran second versus similar in his last race. He has the best all-weather speed among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then Frank's Art, that's 7. He finished third versus Tougher in his last race, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, my second choice. Number 5 is my third choice. Won his last race at Gulfstream Park, switches the high percentage winning trainer and has a high percentage winning jockey. The 1 is my long shot, Don't Let Me Down, finished 4th in his last race at Gulfstream Park as a favorite, but the trainer wins 17% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and he has 2 bullet workouts in a row.
I'm going to go with the 8-horse to this one, by far the most back class, second in its last race, going to improve in the second start after a layoff, especially with the Keep the Saw Sharp workout in between. Frank's Art, the 7-horse, top total pace by 6, left arrow closer. That's going to be forward. Bullet workout in its last workout, off to the track. Just another one of those horses that probably should have been put in the turf race. Not the best all-weather form. Gilded Age, the 4-horse, is another one that has a ton of back class in this field. It's going to drop in class today. Going to be coming aggressively at the end of the third start after a layoff. And then Media Sensation, the 5-horse, has the best all-weather record. Won his last race, has a decent workout between, but that last race number wasn't all the best. So it's going to have to improve to compete with the top 3. Off to race number 2 we go, Terry. Right now, the 3-horse, the 9-2 morning line, has become the 8-5 post-time favorite. We suspect that, and it looks like the folks on the ground think the 3-horse is going to get to the lead and then not give it up. The 9-horse is the second choice at 3-1. Then the 2-horse at 4-1. The 8-horse, that looks like the value right there, Terry. Tejota, we have it close to 5-2 simulated odds. People who are making their bets completely disagree with us. They have it about 5 times higher than that, 4 times higher than that, at 11-1. That's your value bet right there, folks. The 8-horse. And how many times have we seen those value bets, Terry, come home winners?
Lots. And lots. So,
and it's worth a shot at 11-1, right? Another one with a little bit of value, according to this, is the 5-horse Christensen. We have it at about 5.5-1. Right now, the odds are 8-1. 1 horse also a little bit over, a little bit. We have it at 7-1, and the odds right now are 10-1. So there are plenty of good betting options in here from a probability standpoint. The best of the which would be Tejota, because you're getting 9-1 on a horse that fair value in our point is about 5-2. Looks like they're all loaded for the second. Well, we're waiting for the 9-horse Grand Bay to get in, and then they'll be all loaded for the second race of the day. Then you and I will have 2 races to go, Terry, before this week is in the books.
That's the way it works.
Yep, and they're all in, I think, now, and they're off and running. And the 4-horse popped out there pretty sharply. Peach Nectar, keeping the 3 up to task there. But the 3 has indeed managed to get to the lead. It doesn't look like it had to work that hard to get to the front. It'd be interesting to see what those fractions are. The odds did go up a little bit from 8-5 to 2-1. So some money came off of that horse at the end. They're coming down the backside, going through the turn. The 3-horse has about a 2-length lead over the rest of the field. It ran a pretty fast 21-4, Terry. So that horse better have a little bit of second wind there, or they're going to come run that one down. Kill my pick 3 right as it gets started. 3 horses still on the lead, Terry. The one that's making a pretty aggressive move after it are the 5 and the 1 horse. That 5-horse, Terry Christensen, the one that we pointed out, was a little bit of a value as well. It's going to run right on by them at the end there, Terry. It's going to go 5, 1, 2, 9. 5, 1, 2, and 9.
Wow.
Yeah. You got a little bit of an overlay there. We had 5.5-1. You had the 87.6 and the C zone. That wrapped up nicely. Coming over here in race number 2. 5 horses all the way at the bottom. Kind of hard to back that. The bottom horse almost never wins, but it did today. So a couple clues in there, particularly the fact that the horse ended up going off at 5-1 instead of 12-1. So some money on the ground knew something, Terry.
Yep, they sure did.
And that's my biggest pet peeve in all of horse racing right there, Terry, is that when you have the speed horse and you get out to the lead and you just run insane fractions and you're 3 or 4 lengths in front of everybody else.
Yeah.
Not live. We're live. What are you talking about, John Doe? We're absolutely live. The horse racing, we can't show the races. I wish we could. I tried to get the rights to show races while we're doing it, but the folks that we tried to work out a deal with were impolite to us that day.
Yep, they didn't want to have us do anything. So
No, and then we were going to recommend them off to people and all that kind of good stuff. So a lot of folks from South America or Turkey or other parts of the world, one of the most common questions we get down in the comment section is how can I watch the races live? And if we had that partnership, by golly, we'd give people probably a code. They get a little bit of a discount, and they would have a ton of folks from South America watching their races. But no,
yep.
we'll say yes to race 8, though. Terry, a couple of scratches, maybe changing that race around a little bit. What do you think is going to go on here?
Well, I think they're going to cut back to 6.5 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse 21 or 91,000. It's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won $12,000 once, other than maiden claiming starting or restricted, or which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of 25,000.
Mouthful.
It is
6.5 furlongs. The quick way to win there is they get to the lead. 3 out of 10 wire-to-wire types. Very strong rail bias for American, of course. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 a little under par. So far, nobody that's worn the number 8 has won. Fortunately, that one scratched in there. Terry, if speed's going to be the way in this one, let's see if another 3 can jump to the lead and run 21 and 4 and then just fall apart at the end.
Yeah, it's going to be the 3 with the most speed, and the only 4 and 5 show some speed, with the 1 a little bit of speed.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 has a small overlay from 7.25 to 8 to 1, and the 3 has a small overlay from about 4.75. Well, almost the same. And then the 4 has an overlay, which is pretty nice, which is about 6 to, or what is that, 4 to 5?
Yeah, about 3 to 5, somewhere in there, between 3 to 5 and 4 to 5.
Yeah, to 5 to 2. The 4, 3, and 6 are the only par numbers in here. All but the 3 show season.
Yeah,
Decent season.
Sophia Storm. Let's see. Do we have anything that looks like that last race? Not really. One with the most green is Olga. Our trip handicapping shows most everybody middle forward, the 7 horse and the 3 horse with some flexibility in their ability. They can pretty much move around the course as needed. Cousin Christie, about a length quicker than the 1 horse American, of course, should get to the lead. Let's see if it can go out and blow out another quarter in under 22 seconds. It better not, because it surely doesn't have the late speed for that, Terry. On the end of the race, Olga, which should sit right off the front. Every other horse should be within, almost arm's length, and does have about a 1 1/4 length advantage when the race is coming to a close. Not only that, but it has a full length edge over the rest of the field in our top total pace. Everybody else is within 2 points of each other, Terry. And, that means the race for second could be wide open. And if the 4 doesn't win, then it's anybody's guess who's going to score. So give us your educated guess.
Well, I like the 6. Hi, hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Anyway, she ran second in her last race at Gulfstream Park, but she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 24% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. It has a high percentage winning jockey. And then that 4, Olga, I think is going to go out to that front. And I think right at the end is going to get caught by the 6. She ran second versus Simmer in her last race, has a highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on March 3rd. Found her stay as my 3rd pick. The 8 finished 3rd on an all-weather track in her last race.
That one is scratched out, Terry.
Oh, that's right. It scratched right at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, folks. Okay, and then I like the 1, which is American, of course. The rail post is winning 31% clip. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a trainer whose horses win 18% of the sprint races that are in. Then I like the 3, Cousin Christie. I guess Cousin Christie. So let me see here about why I like Cousin Christie. Let's see here. I like Cousin Christie because, she had a kind of a bad race last time on the turf, but now she's back to the all-weather track and dirt, and she's got a good early running style, so she should do well here. Got a good jockey. Louis says
Mhm. So you're going to do a daily double here with the 146 and the 1?
Yeah.
All right, with your remaining budget? You know, you got your pick
Well,
of the day
no,
coming up, if I
still
remember
have
correctly,
some more
right?
money. I got some more money to go, so it's going to be the 1, 4, and 6.
Yeah, I made the adjustment there for us.
Thank you.
No problem. That's the great thing about Google Sheets. I can open it up on multiple screens and we can do it live. Olga, the 4 horse, is the top total pace horse in here, 5 points clear of everybody else. Again, one of the things I'm seeing repeatedly in my notes is horses that just missed at this level last out. Olga definitely fits in that box. Has 2 really good workouts in between races, too. So this one should continue to be sharp today. Cousin Christie, well, I'm expecting that one to do what the 3 horse did in the second race there. Going to get to the front. Likely going to be your pace setter in there, Terry. Short Resume says the second race after a layoff will be considerably better than the first, and it is taking a major class drop. Let's just try to keep the fractions around 23 seconds instead of under 22. American, of course, the 1 horse. Strong rail bias, really strong rail bias at the distance and surface. If the 3 isn't the leader, then I think the 1's got a good shot to be right there. She is making the 3rd start after a layoff at a distance where she's run 6 times and put a series of 2s in the win place and show columns, meaning 100% in the money. And then, hi, hello, how are you? I'm not the biggest fan of the horses going from Tampa Bay to Gulfstream Park. Usually you see their numbers come down a little bit when they go south in the Sunshine State. That's what happens with their speed numbers as well. But this one did run in Miami 7 times before, hitting the board in 4 of them. So perhaps not that big of a drop off in performance. I'm all out of money. It just got blown up with that 3 horse in its blowout fractions, Terry. But you're not all out of money. You got your best bet of the day coming up, it looks like, in race number 9.
That's
So
right.
tell us about the conditions.
Okay. It's a mile on the turf, and it's got the purse of 42,000. It's an optional claiming race of 50,000 for fillies and 3-year-olds, which have started for a claiming price of 50,000 or less, which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming price of 50,000.
1 mile on the grass. This one is 1 full turn around the 1 mile course. So they're going to start and finish in the same place. That turn comes pretty quickly, Terry. So I would imagine that would mean a little bit of early speed would be useful. In fact, stalkers do pretty well. 18% of the time they go wire to wire. But interestingly, that early turn seems to really punish the rail horse because the rail really stinks. It's like bad. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and plus, a little 4 and out, a little bit better than par. So interestingly, I don't know why that would be, but with that quick turn, usually the inside horses has the edge. But at Gulfstream Park, for whatever reason, the outside horses have gotten the edge. Maybe to clear, those inside horses have to go too fast. I don't know. As far as the early speed is concerned, Terry, it does look like the 1 should be able to clear kind of easily.
That's right. That 1 shows the most speed, with the 7 having some speed too. So they could go head to head if they both get out real well. The 1 is the only overlay I really see. It goes from like 4 to 5 to 3 to 1. And then the 1, 7 are the only 2 that have par plus numbers. All but the 3 and 8 have pretty decent C zones.
Yeah, and we have 2 green go horses in the same race. We haven't had that yet, where all of the columns are green. We've seen those green go horses win a lot. So make sure you pay attention to those and future shows. Want to say thank you real quick to Claudio Valenzi, Tom O'Malley, Rebecca Pollard Rhodes, Luis Garcia, and Noel Wolf for the thumbs up on Facebook. We really appreciate that. All the interaction, even when you're telling us the horse racing stinks, helps us with the algorithms with all the giant tech companies. So we, of course, appreciate that. If you haven't done so yet, you see on the bottom there all of our social sites. Horse Race, the number 2 day. Follow us on Twitter. If you're watching on Twitter, kindly retweet the show. If you're watching on YouTube, kindly share the link on the share button with your friends. Follow us on Facebook. Tell everybody about us. We would greatly appreciate it. Again, like I said yesterday, now that it's getting warm out, throw up in the window right before we get started and say, Terry and Rich are on the internet. Let them know we're here. Yeah. Our trip handicapping shows us a race that's slanted towards the front. So maybe some closers might do all right, or mid-pack type horses. When the gates do open, Terry, you did mention the 1 and the 7 are going to get after it. But the 6, the 3, the 5, they're going to keep them company. So that 7 might have to work a little bit overtime to clear those inside horses. Could be a little bit of a disadvantage in there. The late speed belongs to 2, Carrington and Sadie the Goat, with Carrington being pretty aggressive late run ability there, Terry. Those 2 also grading out as your top 2 total pace horses. Maybe a little bit of an upset brewing in the final race there, Terry, according to total pace. You say, not so fast. This guy's the one that you want to put your money on.
That's right. That's my pick of the day is number 1, Roscoe Village. She's won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, Lady Cha-Cha. My 3 horses finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. They added Lasix today, and my second choice, 7, is my 3rd choice, Skinny Cosmo. Has finished in the money in 3 out of 5 starts, winning one of those races, has a high percentage winning jockey. And then Sadie the Goat is my long shot, the 5. She is the 2nd horse in this race who has won 2 races in a row and is going for a hat trick also, and has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet 15 to win on number 1.
I'm going to bet the 7 horse. It's one of the 2 Gringo horses in here. This horse has run 5 races. 3 of them on turf. All 3 of them were excellent performances. And then it ran 2 on all weather. Neither one of those were any good at all. So the trainer does the smart thing. It says, you know what? Let's just put this horse back on grass. You're going to get one of those good performances today. The 2 horse, this one's making its 3rd start in its career. It raced, and then it went to the bench, and then came back last time out for the first start after a layoff, and it improved a ton off of that first start. This will be the first time only that the horse has made it 2 races in a row without heading to the barn for some rest. But last time out, the horse showed some borderline stakes level late race ability. If that horse improves any at the get-go today and then adds so much as 2 or 3 points to the back end of that race, this one might actually be the one to beat. Number 1, Roscoe Village did run that top last race speed figure, 10 points clear of everybody else. But this is another one of those horses where I'm not really understanding what the trainer's trying to do. Why not run this one on grass? Because that's where he's clearly this one, why are they running him on grass? Because it's not his best surface. All weather is clearly this horse's best surface. And did I mention that the 1 post really stinks? I got all confused. The horse is running on turf today, but it's done much better on the all-weather. And then finally, the 4 horse Refugia or something like that. Terry, you want to take a crack at it?
Oh, the 3 Refugia.
Yeah, something like that.
Refugia.
We'll just go with Ref. Anyway, this one last time out was the 6-5 favorite. Got beaten in that one back in November. When the gates open, they pinched that one, didn't want to give it a shot to win. Then after it got pinched, it had to run wide around the track. It's a pretty difficult way to win a horse race. Since then, the horse has had a bunch of solid workouts. Gonna get some Lasix for the first time. This will be the first start that the horse makes after a little bit of time in the barn. The only other time the horse had a first time up was its debut, and it won that race. I expect to see a rebound here from Refugia with Paco Lopez riding in there, Terry. No bets for me because I'm all out of money. I busted myself in race number 2. Race number 3, a long way away, Terry, so we're not going to really get a chance to talk about that. Race number 1 and 2 are in the books. Here are the rest of our picks for the day. And the way the things are going, folks, fade all of those and then pick the ones we don't have, unless they're 1-5. Outside of that, we need to heat it up a little bit. Wouldn't you say, Terry?
Yep. Looks like, there we go. Looks like Christopher DeSouza's chiming in also.
Race number 92 horse.
That's his pick of the day, the 2 in the 9th race, and my pick of the day is the 1. So I guess if you want to, we can have a contest again.
Are you guys break even still, or what happened? Was it?
Yeah, we're even because neither of us won last race, I don't think.
No, he got the 1 horse last time out.
Did he win last time?
You guys were matched up, and then 1 horse went wire to wire.
Oh, okay. Well, no, there was one after that, wasn't there? Yeah, that's what evened us. Then we had another day that we both had.
Oh yeah, and your both guys ran out of the money that day. Yeah, it's like yesterday, you and I teamed up where we had our best bets of the day, and I think they had a dead heat for last.
Yeah, they were.
Beautiful run right there. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. So
no, it's Animal House. Have you ever seen the movie Animal House where they're pledging and the guy's hitting him in the backside with the paddle? That's what I felt like race after race. Yes, sir. Thank you, Matt. I have another. All right, Terry. Speaking of another, it'll be another Foreign Friday tomorrow with 22-1. Tom and I'm probably afraid to go up against him. And he's been smoking it at the Cheltenham Festival.
Yeah.
We'll see if indeed he can continue that hot streak, and maybe I can find a little flicker somewhere at Rose Hill. We all go through this as horse players, right? Where you feel like you can't lose, and then all of a sudden you're like, you can't win. No, you wouldn't win a one horse race.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. That's about it for this week, folks. Again, thanks for joining us. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you head on over to horseracingtoday.net for Terry, Tom's picks for the Cheltenham Festival. There you see his lovely face. Thank you, Grandma Horse Racing, for that image. Free track of the day is at Turf Paradise, kicking off at 4:25 p.m. Eastern in a 300-yard dash. Kirby might be the one that scores the win there, ridden by L.A. Valenzuela. And then that's it, Terry. Any final thoughts from you before you and I get out of here and pick it back up next Monday at Parks?
No, just have a good rest of the day. Enjoy tomorrow's day, which is Friday. It's the last day of the week for a lot of people, so you can get a weekend off. And other than that,
get started early.
That's right.
For St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Stay safe then. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of green shamrocks for me because I gave up drinking a long time ago. Too dangerous for me and for the rest of the world. No matter what you're doing on this weekend, we certainly hope that you're fixing the yard, getting ready for spring, a little bit of home cleaning, trying to reach some life goals, trying to lose a few pounds, whatever it is you're trying to do. We certainly hope that you got God's favor, God's blessing in every single thing that you do, which is something my horses haven't done lately. Terry, is find
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Foreign Friday coming up tomorrow with 22-1 Tom.